What is up, my guys? Benoit here. Welcome to Tactical Fellowship. I've been waiting for something like this for the Ruger RXM for quite some time now. But does this chassis deliver? Is it the one you've been waiting for? Or will my Quibbles catch up with it? Before we get to that though, how about you like, subscribe, comment, share this with somebody you know that has an RXM. Many say it's impossible. 20K by the end of the year? If we do, it's only because of you, and I appreciate the support. Speaking of support, check out this brand new t-shirt. Look at that. Hanging with my Nomies. It's Nomies with tactical gear. Don't think too hard about it, just get it. And if you could please check out the kit page before this video ends. It's where I do all the work for you, especially stuff that you see in the video, but I don't talk about directly. Head to the kit page for all the details on all that stuff. And even if you decide to go a different route, could you do me a massive favor? Could you use my affiliate buttons at the top of the page? These bad boys are the only things keeping this project afloat at this point. To Taco Bet! You're desperate for an awesome chassis. It could even be mid. All right, so what in the world is this? Basically, it's called the Reaper, and it takes your little rowboat of an RXM and transforms it into a ship of the line. All you need to do is swap your FCI out of your poly grip and boom, into the Reaper chassis. When I look at something like this, I see a finely tuned aluminum grip. Double the fun capacity.
Tactical speed reload.
A side folding brace. A no-nonsense manual safety. A shroud. But I don't even have the shroud piece here. I don't use the shroud, but it has a shroud piece, but I don't have it. I didn't even bring it out. Single point sling. And Picatinny. Getting right to it, here's what I absolutely love about this setup. It's almost impossible to convey how great a full metal micro chassis like this feels in the hands. I've done poly chassis, but the weight, the angles, the cold curves on this, outstanding. It's so good I didn't even Gretzky it up. My preferred method of holding this is my thumb is gonna wrap around this bottom here, which has been giving space for it to do so. I don't even play with the thumbs forward grip on a build like this, so this index spot right here giving this lateral wraparound is fantastic for me. Keeps me confident knowing that I'll have all my thumbs after using this. Also, I feel like this is kind of a pretty good value. Premium aluminum grips for the RXM are pretty spendy. This is giving me a whole chassis that feels really darn good. But even though this is a chassis that shoots good, it's like just a straight up pistol, which it is. And honestly, I can't say that about every chassis system that I've shot. Matter of fact, I think this is the first and only one that I've said that about as of yet. So the side folding brace here, it's clever, it's appealing to the eye, it's not spring loaded, so you have to physically flip it open. Apparently it's got less parts and it's made in such a way that the mechanism won't wear out like other systems that are using springs and such. But like I said, no springs means you need to physically like flip or push this open. So what I'm doing is I'm using these cutouts here or this one here. Most days my fingers are just too weak to do the flip. Maybe you're a little bit stronger than me and that will be easy for you to do. So I just go over the top and I just use this little cutout here. Bloop. The brace though is also tensioned, so it's not like it's just gonna be flopping around. Like you have to actually give it some oomph for it to start to deploy. And that's awesome, that's great. Has a nice button on the bottom here to unlock and fold back. I think the slide is moving really nice on this frame in this configuration with the 18-pound recoil spring and a small caveat. I have found that this gun absolutely likes to run wet.
Let's throw some oil on this.
All the friction points, hit them with some oil. Doesn't shock me, it's a machine. Machines need oil. Some need more oil, some need less. This one needs more oil. Small bummer news though, I'm still very much working out the kinks on making this a dedicated host. That though is not the build's fault. 9mm can get squirrely, more on that later. For those of you that are wondering, this is a true precision Axiom trigger shoe. I only make mention of this to note that it does work in this chassis and the manual safety does still function with this trigger shoe because that's not a foregone conclusion with everything that you drop in. So those that are looking at that, this does work with it. And man, is that manual safety super, super tight. There's like zero movement when you activate that bar. Up here is True Precision's micro comp. This was actually an unexpected home run for this build, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. I was very, very excited about this build, but do I have any quibbles? I've got quibbles. It's quibble time. I had a mag that would just fall out of this forward mag slot when I would present and shoot this like a pistol. Best I know, it was just this one mag, not all of them, but I wasn't also about to go burn 100 rounds of ammo discerning which of my mags would now work in this front mag slot without falling out. I shouldn't have to do it. This mag does not fall out of any other guns. It only falls out of this build in that spot. It makes me wonder if maybe the mag catch spring in here is a little bit too weak. And I know what that spring is. It's a super little guy because you need to install this mag catch on your own. Small little side note, but to install this, you need a 1.5 millimeter Allen wrench. And I had to search high and low for one. They don't include one in the box, so it would be a nice touch if they gave you that micro small Allen wrench right out of the box so you could install the mag catch. But I don't know. I haven't seen any other videos with that issue, but I do things that other channels don't do. I think I tend to play with the toys a little bit harder than most and discover things along the way that others don't. All I know is that it happened to me multiple times, and this was a really expensive thing for me to buy. But that's not the only time a mag fell out. Quibble number 2, laying it down like this will sometimes activate that forward mag release, and it's a bummer of a surprise when you pick it up and your mag flops right out. So I've gotten in the habit of putting it down like this. Patonk. Quibble number 3, this safety recess, it needs to be bigger. I need more metal removed for my thumb to push that on and off with authority. As it is right now, it's just too little of a cutout. Too much finesse is required to hit that, in my opinion. And I'd also scallop this too. More material out here will only increase my ability to hit the OEM mag release and the safety. Matter of fact, I can't activate the OEM mag release without significantly breaking grip, which is why I put the extended Tyrant one on it. Speaking of grip, quibble number 4 is I think this build would be more comfortable if it had a longer grip, kind of like the Magpul EHG. At the same time, I also understand why they did not do this, because this length is the standard RXM configuration length, what you get when you buy it out of the box, with the magazines that come with this thing out of the box. And I suppose that they just wanted your magazine compatibility to be bang on with how it ships from the manufacturer. So I understand why they made the call that they did. That being said, my hands just drop too low on this though, and they regularly induce accidental friction with mags when ejecting. I'd also love to see more flare on this mag well. The load zone feels more like a slim 1911. Quibble number 5. I struggled to install my FCI into this. It took some time to find the right angle that they were looking for that you needed in order to soft mallet tap it in. Made me extra cautious is because I didn't want to accidentally break the plastic tab outside the pocket holder when hammering it in. Perhaps this was an unfounded fear, as I don't actually know the dimensions exactly of all these things. I was just eyeballing it as I was looking into it. All I know is that the mag pull grips, the chassis slides right in. And this isn't my first rodeo, and I was worried I was going to break the FCI getting it in. But it didn't, and I did get it in. Somehow I achieved the right angle and was able to tap it in, and it did not break my FCI. Whew. Last quibble, and this is kind of more of a build quibble, but I could not get this thing to run. Let's send us back out to Benoit for more details on that.
Failure to load. Let's take the mag off the front and see if that extra weight is keeping it down. See that? Gotta shake it. Just shake it into battery. Yeah, that's lame.
Just to be sure, I have run the Magpul grip with the True Precision barrel and the Centurion can with the 18-pound spring, and it ran like a typewriter just great. But I think the extra weight on this is throwing the math equations all off, and I just need to spend more time figuring it out. Yet again, this is not the chassis fault. I have high hopes actually of this becoming my ultimate host, but I just wanted you to know that in case you're looking at this and you're like, ooh, dang, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just letting you know right now, there's going to be some hurdles for you. Dang, man, we're cruising around along and I'm about to wrap this up, but before we do that, I've got some shout outs. And True Precision, your threaded barrel and micro comp It's getting a shout out. You had the right color for this build, and your thread protector came with an integrated high temp O-ring that kept it from falling off its match grade host. And your micro comp is just plain easy. It installs easy, it bats down the barrel. I immediately felt the slight difference that a compensator should be giving a gun. I'm used to that feeling, I like that feeling. I believe comps are science you can trust. There's more I want to say and do with this micro comp, so I'm gonna have to leave that for another video, but this was a great partnership here. Kit page for all these details. Tyrant, your extended mag release is getting a shout out. It's longer, it's aluminum. It's one of the few extended mag releases still readily available for Gen 3 Glocks and RXM. Helps me release the mag without breaking grip. This is a great part for this build. Probably just straight up standard builds as well. Liberty, your Centurion can is getting a shout out. Though it didn't get a lot of face time in this video, I like the classic Cerakote look, the titanium tube, the durable stainless steel core. I like that it's rimfire to 300 blackout capable. It clocks in at 6.5 inches with the booster, and with the booster coming in at 12.5 ounces. Speaking of the booster, it comes included with the can. Super nice touch. Thanks guys for your work on these. And Holosun, your 507 CX3 is getting a shout out. It's got a larger window, increased battery life, better form, shake awake, solar backup, 2 MOA, zero gaudy white lettered branding. Yes, please. Best value red dot on the market, winning on every level with this one. Guys, the Ruger Man of War is probably one of my most favorite builds of the year. And the chassis is so close to nailing it. In my opinion though, I'd maybe wait for a 2.0 before pulling the trigger. This is a solid V1, but a V2 with some of the micro enhancements that I've talked about in this video would absolutely crush. I'm gonna go ahead and say probably becoming one of the best rated and best looking chassis out there for the RXM. Well, my guys, that is all I got for you. Be sure to check out the kit page for all your next steps on this build, and as always, ride fast, shoot straight, get off the couch and into some tactical fellowship, and we'll see you next time.